Thank you for taking the time to view this message. I left the message board about a year ago for a few reasons: to focus more time on business and family responsibilities, and because the quality of debate wasn't high enough to justify the time I spent, and because as a Cooper enthusiast, I made certain conclusions that allowed me to walk away from the case feeling that my curiosity was somewhat satisfied. I want to say first and foremost that I admire the work of Tom Kaye, and I think what you're doing, Tom, is a great service to the case and to the Cooper community. My post the other day wasn't meant to be a criticism, but rather a suggestion. If you find a chemical signature on several bills that doesn't seem to belong there, that's a huge discovery. Don't let that discovery go to waste by reaching conclusions too quickly. That's all I meant when I said follow the evidence. Too many times I've seen people have obstinate reactions when evidence goes against their opinion. To combat this, some of them have actually attacked the evidence. This isn't to say you shouldn't be thorough in making sure the facts are reliable, but when I saw how quickly everyone was willing to throw out solid pieces of evidence because it didn't fit their opinions, it told me the motive wasn't to learn or move closer to the truth, but rather to obscure and create a nebulous picture of the Cooper heist. Suppose you did find an out-of-place chemical signature. Before reaching any conclusion about it, you must first attempt to figure out what products or environmental conditions could feasibly contribute to that signature. I'm assuming you've covered the basic confounding problems such as storage and transport since 1980 when it was found. Assuming you can rule out contamination during this time, you then work to determine what products, industrial waste, or natural elements contributed to the signature. I would imagine this would give you a range of possible contributors, and from there, you work to isolate. Now, I can't do this. None of us can, but Tom, you can. It's obviously within your means to do so. But if you whittle down the contributing factors to a hypothetical landing area, you're more than likely weeding out some very probable contributors. And it may not be possible to find the source of contaminants because we don't have water samples from the 1970s where there could have been pollutants in the water. So since you haven't released the nature of the chemical signature, you're left to your own devices to find an answer. And if you're cornering yourself too early, my point was that you might wind up frustrated and defeated in the end. If whatever stored these bills for the last 28 years cannot account for the chemicals found in the bills, then certainly you found a piece to the puzzle that might prove valuable. If these compounds aren't natural, and could not have gotten there by themselves just by lying in and around the river, then my guess would be that it fits with all the rest of the evidence, which is to say that this money was moved and stored for a period of time before entering the Columbia. The chemical signature might give you a clue as to how this money was stored. And when I say stored, I mean it's fairly conclusive that it was protected from the elements in some way. And it was likely more than just the money bag. A chemical signature can give you some insight as to how this money was housed, but that's just my guess based on nothing more than what I've read in the papers. Good luck to you, Tom, and don't let these people on the boards influence your scientific reasoning too much. I am very much looking forward to reading your findings and conclusions when you're done.